Hey everybody, here we are again, 3 o'clock. I told you we'd be out here in the showroom. So this is a small portion of it. We've got a nice contraption set up here that you can't see, luckily, to bring this all out here and everything. So glad you guys are joining us and everything. I see we already got some comments. I'll be getting to that here in a couple of minutes. Just so everybody knows, today we're going to be talking about cold water diving. So bring your questions, bring your answers, bring your comments. We're going to try to answer everything that you guys are bringing to the table. I've got a list of stuff we'll try to get through, but knowing you guys, you're going to keep me busy with all kinds of other questions as we talk about products and everything anyway. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more on these questions. All you going to be bringing them up and everything. So it's cold here in the Midwest right now. If you haven't been paying attention, it's negative 51 degrees outside here. It's cold. We're still here. We decided to show up today and answer the phones and be here for you guys. So let's get to some of these questions. So it looks like Nicole. How you doing, Nicole? Nice to see you. Michael Vanoy, wondering about the favorite heat system for dry suits. Gosh, there are some good ones, Mike. You know, you've got the Drysuit, which is a nice heated vest. You've got Light Monkey, which is an awesome heated shirt. And then you've got Santee, which has the heated undergarment and the heated vest. Which is the best one? Probably depends on what you're doing, what kind of diving you're doing. The Drysuit one has its own sealed battery pack that goes in the dry suit. You kind of press a button through the suit to turn it on and off. Some people like that, some don't. It's definitely a lot cheaper. I want to say that one's about $400 or so off the top of my head. That one's really nice, but it's all contained. Some people see that as it could be a liability if something happens to that lithium battery. Could blow up on you, overheat. It's in the suit. There's not much you can do about it. The Light Monkey and the Santee are both external heating packs. You're going to pay a lot more for it because you do need that external heating pack or that battery source for it. Light Monkey is a shirt, really nice shirt. It's kind of lighter weight. I don't know if I have one right here. I know we've got one. I'll try to see if somebody can grab one and bring that back out, as well as the heated vest. You know, we staged a bunch of stuff. We should have staged that stuff, but I don't think I have one right here, but we'll try to grab one of those too. The Light Monkey is more of a shirt. Still has some warmth and everything throughout. Really good price on it. It's really comfortable, really flexible. Santee's going to be a little bit more expensive. Like I said, they've got a vest and the full suit. Theirs is going to be quite a bit thicker, so even without the heating source, it's going to provide a little bit more warmth and everything for you as well. Nicole, yeah, we're trying to stay warm here. You know, we're inside, luckily. So the cold is outside that door in front of me that you guys can't see, but we're nice and warm in here. It's going to be different when we go out and warm up the cars, though. Mike talking about the cold water. John, what is the hottest reg rated to in terms of temp? Depends on which one you're talking about, John. Augie, you want to change the comment there? You're still on Mike Morales about the heated undergarments.
I just popped up John, showing John's.
Oh, I must have a delay on my screen then. I don't know. Whatever. Depending on the reg that you have is really what depends. But as long as you've got a sealed regulator, you can go ice diving in those. You're really not going to have any issues. Just make sure you have contained and everything, that it is ice rated. It is a sealed first stage. You should be good to go. I've had almost every reg under the sun. I've had houses before. I've definitely gone ice diving in them, no problem. Chris from Edge and Hug and I, one time we went out, we took their regulators and a few other ones. We were ice diving, having a great time down at Hague Quarry. This was a few years ago. But no, like there's you won't have an issue. If there's a certain temp that you're thinking about, John, let me know. But gosh, I mean, you shouldn't have any issues with what you're doing. Jay is saying the video's buffering. If anybody else is having those problems, let us know. Like I said, we've kind of got a remote system here set up, so hopefully that's not doing it. Hopefully it's just Jay's system, but let us know if it's not. John, congrats on your first dry suit. Glad you chose us. I'm sure you got the warranty. Hopefully you got the warranty. We got a lot of really cool offerings with that and everything. Craig, love to hear your thoughts on the benefits of a dry suit versus semi-dry. Oh, great question, and that's a good, easy one, I feel, for me to answer. So semi-dry is really nice, right? You get in, and so many of us are just used to a wetsuit that I know before I dove a wet dry suit, I was like, oh, this wetsuit's fine. I have no problem. I like getting cold. I like getting wet. It feels good until you try a dry suit. So semi-dry is going to be a little bit less expensive. You don't have to buy an undergarment. You don't have to buy some of the nice accessories like dry gloves and things that most people do get with a dry suit. And they're, $400 to $600. We've got a couple of them right back here. But when you start getting that dry suit, you're really going to be able to extend your season. You're going to get in the water sooner when it's colder and clearer. You're going to stay in the water a lot later as well when the water's still warm, but the air temperature is starting to get a lot colder, which gets you colder. So that dry suit just helps obviously keep the water off you, allows you to stay in the water, stay warmer. You can wear different layers when you get out, right? So in the water, a lot of people even in semi-dries are warm in the water, depending on the water temp or how long they're diving. But when you get out and it's 50 degrees, 60 degrees, it's a cloudy day versus a sunny day, being dry is a lot nicer than being wet. Also, if you've ever had to put on a wetsuit, it's a pain in the butt. Dry suit, real quick, easy. You just pop right into it and everything. But they do cost a little bit more money. We do have dry suits starting at about $600. The USIA Aquasport starts at $600, so it's really not too much more than a good semi-dry. But you do have to get an undergarment. You will want to possibly upgrade to dry gloves and some other things, but you can do that in time. Great question, Craig. Bob, are there any differences between SciTech and waterproof silicone seals for dry suits? They actually come from the same place. They're all made by SciTech. So SciTech makes it for waterproof, same seals, same materials. That's why they both went through a nice evolution where back in the early days, they were ripping pretty easily. We actually even had some that were just sitting on that. The suit was sitting on a hanger, nobody touched it, nobody was near it, and the seal just fell apart and dropped onto the floor. So no, all that has changed and evolved. Now, the only difference that there is between them, though, the SciTech ones that we sell are a bottle shape, and I actually have one of those here. They're a bottle shape where it comes down. Waterproof ones are more of a conical shape. Now, the reason we like, and it really doesn't matter with silicone seals, more with latex, but the reason I like bottle seals better is there's less of a taper than a cone seal. So as you take off these little rings to get it to fit you, you still have more of a sealing surface. If you look at my hand, right, you have more of a sealing surface against your wrist. On the conical ones, they're more of an angle. So they fit a wider variety of people with just one size. But if you take off a little too much of a ring or it stretches out a little bit in time, it's going to stretch out and possibly be too big on you. Not as big of a deal with silicone seals. Bob, I would just try and both see which one you like and what you're thinking. Rick is saying he's got a slow connection and possibly no video. I hope you guys aren't all having that. Not too many are complaining. I think we've had 2. If you are seeing that, let us know really quickly, and we'll see what we can do. But we've got the internet going, and hopefully all of you are seeing everything. Is that the last question there from Rick?
That was the last question.
All right, so going on to dry suits, right? There's different dry suit materials, right? We'll just kind of stick with dry suits for now until somebody brings on a new question. You've got Tri-Lam, Bi-Lam, breathable materials. There's Cordura and all kinds of different choices. And obviously neoprene being a little bit warmer than all of them. One of the nice things about, and here's somebody asking about Tri-Lam versus neoprene. So Tri-Lam, right here. I can bring this a little bit closer for you guys. It's going to be a more flexible, lighter weight, still extremely durable material, really comfortable and soft. The nice thing about it, it dries almost instantly, okay? When you get out of the water, they dry pretty quickly. They're a little bit more flexible and everything, and you don't need a lot more weight to sink in those. With your neoprene suits, right off the bat, it just weighs more. It's just a heavier suit, okay? Nice thing about it, though, because it's heavier, it's thicker, I don't need a stick of an undergarment to stay warm in this. So I can wear a lot lighter undergarment in the same cold water temperatures and be just as warm. One other downside that most people will tell you is the extra weight that's needed. Again, it's heavy, quite a bit heavier, so not as good for travel, but you are going to need a few more pounds of lead to sink because of the inherent buoyancy of the neoprene. Remember, it all depends on what you're doing. They are a lot more durable too. A lot of your commercial divers and those guys do wear neoprene suits because they can patch them easily. They're really durable and robust, especially some of the thicker ones that are out there. Great question. I hope that answers, Marcus. Feel free to pop another question if that didn't answer it for you. Bob is wondering, have there been any longevity issues with newer plastic dry suit zippers? No. Yes, there used to be. When TI-Zip came out, they were having some issues with delamination. The biggest reason most people, myself included, when we're done diving, we throw our stuff in a bag. It may sit for a day or two before we put it away, or we store it wet, or we put it away and not perfectly dry condition. What that was causing is some fungus and things like that to grow in the zipper and cause it to delaminate. YKK had that kind of figured out a little bit before TI Zip and didn't have any issues. TI Zip then figured it out. Those are the two companies that both make plastic zippers. TI Zip figured it out, and they've not had any issues, either of them. YKK went through a short period of time with their plastic pull zippers where it would sometimes separate from the teeth. Once they got that figured out, and we only stock the metal pull zippers by YKK now. Once that was figured out, we've never seen another issue. So in all confidence from me and our repair center, which is what we do, and I'll take you guys back there in a little bit, but in all the confidence that I have in the zippers and that you should too, they're good. I would not hesitate to get a plastic zipper anymore. They're really robust. They're really durable. They hold up. They're worth it. They're more flexible. You don't have to wax them all the time. They just pull so much easier. If you think about upgrade, you need a new zipper, go plastic. You shouldn't have any issues. Heading back to, let's see, dry gloves. So I know I kind of touched on dry gloves for a little bit, but not too much. There's quite a few different options out there depending on you and how you're diving and the systems that you have. Sci-Tech, Scuba, waterproof. There's a lot of good systems out there. Santee has their system as well, which is proprietary to them. If you have questions on them, how to use them, watch our videos that we've got on the products. Give us a call. We can help narrow that down. But depending on the suit you have or possibly the wrist system you have, might dictate which system is going to work best for you. Speaking of those systems, probably the most popular upgrade that we do in our repair department, Rick's got a question on house Drysuit boots. Yeah. Let me go have somebody get that for you, Rick. We absolutely do have some. Probably a lot of them in stock right now. So Augie or somebody's going upstairs to get that. We'll come right back to that question. But as far as the systems at the wrist, until we get another question, you've got round wrist systems and oval wrist systems. Augie, did you hear that about the boots? Chris is going. Okay. You've got the round, the oval. Now, the reason a lot of people like the oval, it's a lot more compact on my wrist and everything. Problem is, there's not really a lot of good dry glove system options for the oval. The round has a lot more options, a little bit bigger for hands and stuff like that, but it is a little bit bigger profile. There are some dry glove systems, one by Waterproof, that converts this oval into a round system just by changing the inner ring. And then it becomes a round system for the dry glove. Swapping back to Rick's question here. Rick, right here. Let me shrink my screen down a little bit so I can see how close or not close I'm getting to you. Woo. Is there anything specific you want to see, Rick? Good, extremely durable boot. I use the same boot. Hollis did a good job here. Pinnacle actually has the same boot. I'm not sure how that happened. Great boot. I use it. It's got a good sole on it. It's not too thick, so you do sometimes feel thick rocks or anything like that if you're at the quarry. But it really holds well. What I really like about it is you don't have a lot of eyelets in the laces. I've had some other boots before that have like 10 or 12 eyelets, and it takes forever to lace up that boot. This one, I think there's four. There's only 4 eyelets, so it's really easy. Put it on, open it up. It's got a big inside pocket. The back opens up so you have some good grip to help pull it on and everything. It does have the fin, if you can see that. The fin tab too. So good boot. If you have any more questions about that, let me know. Nicole, do you have any dry suits we can use for the class before we purchase? Absolutely. So we've got so many dry suits, probably 15 to 20 of them that are just used, that have come and gone, and you're more than welcome to try before you buy. Also, a lot of people think we're just an online store, but we're a real dive shop. So we do classes. All of our open water students actually learn in a dry suit. So we've got probably 30 or 35 dry suits in our rental department. We are very well known for sending those out to people just to even try it before they buy from us. So that's an option. You can also walk in the front door. We can try some on. You can go try it in the pool or at the quarry, whatever you need. That's not a problem. So we've got lots of options when it comes to that to help you pick out the right one and then make sure it's right for you, and then obviously get you the real one. Craig, different zipper placements on dry suits, back zip versus front zip. Great question. You know, I always come to these things with a whole list of questions, and I love that you guys lead the conversation. It makes it so much easier for me than relying on my ingenuity here. So great question. So back zip versus a front zip. Some of your neoprene suits are going to be back zip. Why? Because I don't need as much room to get into the suit because we have stretch. Your front zip suits are easier to get into in the front, and we can obviously don and doff them and zip them up ourselves. Downside to them is we have to have more material in the chest because we've got to be able to get our head into it. Because of that too, we need more length in the torso, and that's why they have telescoping torsos. If you don't know what that is, it's, I mean, well, here. Right here, it kind of gets tucked down. Now all suits, when you get them, they're going to look long, well, because of that telescoping torso. So when that actually comes down, it's just a lot shorter. But what that telescoping torso does is it gives you more room in the suit, more height, so that you can get in and out of it with your head as you scrunch down. With a back zip, you're kind of crawling into it like a sleeping bag. So it's across the back. You do typically have to have somebody help you in and out of it. Some people are very flexible where they can do it themselves, especially with a little bit of practice. But because you're climbing in the back, you don't have to have that telescoping torso. You don't have that extra room in the chest for your head to duck in and out of. So typically your back entry suit is going to fit a little bit tighter than a front entry suit because you don't have to have all that extra material. So it's kind of a toss-up on the user and the diver on what they need, somebody to help them get into it or not. Both of them work really well for lots of people. If it were me, I have both. I know that's probably not the answer you want to hear, but I've got a few different dry suits for different things that I'm doing. So it kind of depends on what I'm diving and stuff like that, on which one I'm picking and taking. But I don't have a problem. I'm usually always diving with a buddy, so it's not a big deal. When I grab my neoprene suits, I just turn around, have a buddy just zip up that zipper. Just make sure they give it a couple tugs. If you're a dry suit diver, I'm pretty sure we've all forgotten that couple tugs on the zipper, and yeah, it gets a little wet, so stay away from that. Next one, Rick. How does the sizing run compared to street shoes? Pretty big. So just go one size bigger on that boot, Rick, that Hollis boot, and you should be solid. If not, don't worry. Just send it back. We'll send you the other side. It's pretty easy. Mike, what are the typical weights of undergarments for typical temperature ranges? Depends on you. You are a big guy, so it all depends on the person. You know, a woman's going to need more undergarment than a man in the same temperature. So it really depends on what I always ask people is, how are you in a room full of 30 people? Are you typically hotter or colder than everybody else? Probably the most common undergarment that we sell is the Fourth Element Arctic. And they came out with the Arctic Expedition, which is a little bit thicker too. That pretty much fits most people as far as 90% of their diving for warmth. But what you have to remember is there's not one undergarment that's going to be good for all of your diving needs because the temperatures change on the surface, underwater. So you do have to have usually 2 to 3 undergarments or figure out an undergarment layering system. So you can either add or detract a layer or two to get more warmth or less warmth. So really hard to say, Mike. There's so many variety and choices and stuff like that. Best thing I would do, you come in, call, and we'll see exactly what the temps are that you're needing it for. Figure out how tolerant you are to the cold, and then make some suggestions based on that. So another good question. Back to, we talked about the systems. We also have the ORUS system. So what this is a replaceable neck seal system for your dry suit. So this gets installed into your dry suit. Your seal kind of plugs into it. Let me get a little bit closer here. So that gets installed, kind of like changing the screen in your door or window. This holds in the seal, and you have a tool that zips around it and kind of locks it all in. If you ever need to change it, you just pull this out, change the seal, and put a new one. These are really nice. Probably the biggest upgrade we do. Bob had already asked something about seals, so we'll keep the seal stuff going. Silicone seals, really nice, really soft, extremely flexible. One of the problems with silicone seals is people don't put them on right. What they want to do is just put it on a normal seal, which is push, 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 push. As you can see here, it turns white. and my hand finally goes through it. But look at all that stress I'm putting on that seal just to get it going. That is the wrong way to do it. Don't do that with your seals, whether it's the neck or the wrist. The right way, put your hand in. When you kind of get stuck, open it up with your other hand, walk it down. Don't stress out that seal. If you do this the right way, these seals will last you a really long time. Latex seals, not as flexible. Again, these, because they aren't as stretchy, this is too small of a seal for me, but typically you can just push and your hand goes through. But look how hard I'm pulling on this, and it's not stretching nearly as much. A lot more robust for the guy who is quick and just going to slam their hand or their head through the seal. Silicone, a lot more comfortable, a lot more flexible, but you have to give it a little bit more care. Sean, how does the X-Core vest compare to heated system? Is it really as warm? I've used both. It's definitely warm. Definitely warmer than just an undergarment. Is it as warm as heat? It's really close. I will say I think heated undergarments have an advantage because you can turn them on and off. When I don't need the heat, I don't have to have it on. When I do need it, near the end of the dive, end of deco, depending on what's going on, I can kick it on and kind of kick back into that warmth. Most people will leave it on the whole dive. It just depends on the person. It definitely adds a lot more warmth, right? Any vest does. That one's really compact and adds a lot of warmth into a small pocket, or packet, I should say. But I don't know. I still give the edge to the heated undergarment systems. But for the price, pound for pound, it gets you a lot closer. So if you cannot afford getting into a heated undergarment system yet, it's okay. Get the Fourth Element X-Core because it's really close. It definitely adds a lot more warmth and everything for you. It should do you really well for a long time for most divers. Talc. No, Rick, you don't need any talc or anything on the silicone seals. Some people will use a little silicone spray, either spray it on their wrist or the seal, just help it slide a little bit, but you really don't need to. Once they're broken, and when they're new, like the one that I put on, they kind of tend to roll a little bit. Once they've been used a few times, that sheen wears off just a little bit. They actually go on pretty good. Just make sure, again, you're opening it up. If you're trying to push through it, that's wrong. It's just going to rip and break anyway, and then it does grab because of the silicone. Bob, is it worth upgrading from the older rigid neck system to the newer system that is more flexible? You got to decide that one, Bob. But I will tell you, these are a lot more flexible. Bob, I think, was actually there when we were up at Ghost Ships Festival one time. We actually installed silicone seal system for Gil Barros, if I recall, if I'm saying his name correctly. We were in the hallway of the show, and he really wanted to have a system installed. So I was like, hey, I could do this here. I had the glues. I had the stuff. We were literally grabbed the heat gun, and we were installing it in the hallway. I don't know if you remember that, Bob, but that was pretty cool. But, yeah, it is a lot more flexible. You can literally, with no effort at all, almost fold this thing in half. The other ones just don't have the same flexibility. So I do think it is absolutely worth it. I don't know if it's worth the expense, depending on how much you dive, to swap it. If you're having issues with the other one and you're noticing it and it just doesn't feel as good, I would say, yeah, it's definitely worth it. If you're already used to it and you don't notice it that much anyway, I don't know if I'd really worry about it as much. Cody, is it worth looking at used suits? See, that's almost a loaded question. It depends on where you get it from, right? If you get it from a good source and you trust, why not? We sell used suits and we sell a lot of them and no issues. But where we see a lot of people get into trouble is they send us a used suit they got off eBay for $500-600. It was supposed to be good. Next thing you know, it needs a zipper. They want to change the boots out. It needs new seals and it's got a few holes. They're spending another $500 to $600 into that suit. That's not worth it anymore. You could have gone new for the same money. So depends on where you're getting it from. There's a lot of good used suits out there from us and other people. You just got to know who you're getting it from, whether you trust it, if you can get it inspected maybe first. If you're getting it from us, absolutely. I can only really speak for what we do, since we're the largest drysuit repair center in the country. I just know our standards and stuff like that. And God forbid if we miss something, because, hey, we are human too. Accidents happen, mistakes happen, things can get missed sometimes. We still take care of it. Buying something on eBay, the guy's probably not going to take care of you. Hopefully he does. So it just really depends on where you get it from. But I wouldn't always be too worried about it unless you know where you're getting it from. Bob does remember that. Wasn't that cool, Bob? Was that your suit or was that Gil's suit? I don't remember. I thought it was Gil's, but maybe Gil was just there. Maybe it was your suit. Craig, several long undergarments for yeah, Craig, they can be used, but typically they're not thick enough. They're surface gear, right? If you've looked at Under Armour or anything, even their heavy Arctic Under Armour gear is really thin. When you look at these undergarments, they're a lot thicker. And the reason is the water wicks away the heat 1,000 times faster than the air. So we have to have something thicker for when we're in the water. And the water, even though we have the Drysuit as bare, we need something thicker. So I think depending on what you have and what water temps you're in, it might be okay. It's probably better, as I was talking about earlier, as a layer. One of the layers with something else. Whether it's this, whether you have some other fleeces, I don't think you have to have this stuff that's specific. I think there's some nice features that are in these undergarments that are specific to dive, like P-valve through ports, the thumb loops. Not everything has a thumb loop. Butt flaps on some of them, so you can go to the bathroom for the women out there. There's just some things that are nicer, but fit, warmth, comfort. Try what you got. I'm a big advocate of just trying it. You know, go do a dive, see how it works for you. Layer up, or add, like Sean was asking about the X-Core. Add a base layer of something like that to it, or get something thicker and use yours as a base layer. So if you get a moderate temperature undergarment, throw your lighter weight stuff with that, and now you've got a heavier undergarment. When you take that away, you have your mid-range undergarment. When you just wear your thermals that you have now you've got a lightweight undergarment for when it's warmer out in the warmer water temps. So play with it. I don't think it's going to be the end-all be-all for you. I think it'll be a great layering system for you, though. Bob, it was your suit. So, yeah, that was cool, man, and it never leaked. Sometimes you get lucky. That was a long time ago, too. Maria, how are you? It's hot in here. So we have the heat cranked up. So I don't know if I'm sweating or stumbling or muttering, but I am dying of heat right now. That 51-degree temperature out there, or negative 51 is cold. But, geez, I don't know. We got the heat cranking in here to battle it, but it is hot right now. So until we get another question, let's move on. P-valves, right? Everybody loves a good P-valve. So we actually had a question recently. Somebody asked, how many times can you use a condom catheter with your P-valve? The answer is, everybody, once. So condom catheter is just that. It's basically a condom that is helping relieve us through the system. Yeah, you put it on, you take it off, throw it away. Don't wear it again. Get a new one. P-valves are nice in your dry suit. Personally, I go to the bathroom beforehand. I've never had a problem, and I know everyone's going to call me a liar. Yes, I did pee in my wetsuit when I was a child. As I've gotten older, I just haven't had the need to. I don't know if I've got a big enough bladder or whatnot. I wouldn't lie to you folks. I don't care enough to. Like I said, I used to pee in them. I haven't needed to in a long time. I would if I did, but I don't. So me personally, I don't have a P-valve because I don't have the need for the type of diving I'm doing right now and how the hydration and everything works for me. Lots of other people do. They work out good. They get installed either on the left side or the right side, depending on you. Most people get it on the left side so they can reach it with their right hand and turn it on and off. We've got a lot of variety of these. And yes, Lindsay, in my other hand, we cannot leave out the women here, right? So kind of awkward for me to talk about this, but this is the sheepy. So for the women out there, we talked about condom catheter for the men. This is the female version. This is the sheepy. We saw a lot of these. A lot of people forget about the women divers, but they're out there. Lindsay herself. And this is what it is. So this gets glued on to the woman and acts just like the condom catheter. And this is reusable, so you don't throw this away. You can clean it. It's a really good grade. Silicone, if I recall. I could be wrong. Don't hate me. But really comfortable, really stretched. Actually, I don't know how comfortable it is. But everybody tells me, all the women tell me it's comfortable. I don't know from experience. But super soft, and everybody tells me it's comfortable. So these are really, really nice for the women, especially if you're dry suit diving. So we do install a lot of those and sell a lot of those. My Color diving, only nice to have ice in your leg. Mike, I don't really understand that question. But yeah, ice can happen. It can freeze up your valves. It typically isn't going to freeze up your inflator valves because that inflation is happening inside the suit where you're kind of warmer. Regulators, they do freeze up, especially if you have a one of the things you don't want to do as a cold water diver, don't ever pre-breathe your reg and then go under the ice, because that breath that you just took and that moisture will cause it to freeze, and now you will have a freeze up and possibly a failure underwater. So don't do that. Take your breath as you're getting in the water. Don't pre-breathe it like we're kind of used to. Tip. What else do I have here? Bring on more questions if you guys got them. But, we really kind of covered almost everything that I had on my sheet. There's a couple things that we wanted to do for you guys. I'm going to grab the computer, take a walk through, show you guys the dry suits. Now, they don't know we're coming back there. You may not believe me. I'm really bad sometimes with communication to my staff, so they really have no idea we're coming. So I don't know. They might be eating lunch. They might be picking their nose. They might be playing with blow-up dolls. I don't know. But we'll go see. The other thing, I've had probably about 10 people that, because of the cold weather we have, they've seen these challenges where people throw ice water into the air or water into the air and it just turns into dust. So we're going to do that here live for you so you can see what happens. So looks like we got another question. What is the difference between a balanced or unbalanced P-valve? Good question. Unbalanced P-valve. Well, let's just go with the balance. So a balanced has another balancing chamber. Sometimes there's another hose off of it. It's balancing with the inside of the suit. So if I'm not peeing and it's not open, nothing's coming back in. It's just kind of balanced through the system. Unbalanced, you do have to close it, and it could potentially come back in, giving you a UTI. Doesn't happen often. Just keep peeing, let it out, and you shouldn't have an issue. What are the best thermals for dry suits? Philip, I don't know if you heard us before. That's really hard for me to go into because it depends on the water temps that you're diving in, where you're diving, your size, how cold you get, how hot you get. I know that's not really the answer you want to hear, but best thing to do is comment in here with where you're diving and stuff like that, and some of the questions I just had, and I can answer it, or give us a call, and we can definitely help you figure out the right one for how you're diving. Ralph, don't breathe regular water. Got that? How would one use a P-valve above water when it's that cold? Well, how cold are we talking about now, huh? Ice diving, there really shouldn't be an issue with you peeing through your P-valve while on the ice doing an ice dive. I don't foresee that freezing up that fast. The valve shouldn't crust over or anything like that because that's inside the suit. The tubing. I don't see an issue there, Ralph. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're running into any issues with that. So feel free to pee away. Or just wait a few minutes and get in the water, or pee before you get your suit on. But really, it's just going to kind of run down your leg. Shouldn't be too big of an issue there. And you're going to get in the water anyway. It'll kind of wash it off. So hope that helps. So we're going to go sneak up on the dry suit, guys. Keep the questions coming, though. Lindsay's got another one. You need to pee before getting in the water with unbalanced. There you go. So we're going to head back here. You got me now? All right. So sorry you lost me for a second. Like I said, we had quite the contraption here to bring you guys into the showroom. Just a lot of boxes and stuff, like, if I can get the right angle. But whatever. So I kind of forgot that we had a little camera there. You can kind of see it in front of Huggy. And I unplugged. So I'm really sorry about that. So we're going to go ahead and take a walk back into the back and surprise the dry suit guys and see what's going on. So I'm going to kind of turn the camera around as we walk. Here, let's see what they're getting into. A lot of people don't know this, but we also work on decompression chambers for the medical industry. If I can get the medical industry, so many different cures and ailments, multiple sclerosis, all kinds of things. These are great for that. So we do a lot of repairs for that. And back into the dry suit guys. Hey guys, how you doing? Surprise, Facebook Live. All right, so this is where the magic happens with the dry suits. Looks like they got a bunch of stuff out on the table, including one of the chambers there in white. What are you guys working on? Keep bringing on the questions. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so here Chris is putting in one of those round wrist systems we were talking about earlier. Into a Drysuit. Is this one getting the neck system too then?
Yep, trying to keep the warm neck.
Yep, keeping the warm neck. What do you got going on? Matt is mixing up some glue. You know, a lot of people just see it as Aqua Seal. So I can get this angle right. But there is a fine science of mixing that with a Coatol to get it right. And 50-50 is usually a pretty good mix. But sometimes, depending on the suit and stuff like that, they do mix them a little bit differently. So let's see here. The Queen Light machine. Oh, the sewing machine. So obviously that just kind of does what it does, right? I don't know what a sewing machine is. A very handy tool that we use daily here. The coolest one we got, I think, is our Queen Light machine. This is a hot air tape machine. So, and I apologize for the bad video here. Just trying to hold this computer. So this tape is the same that is on the inside of a lot of dry suits when they do the seams. This machine has a hot air nozzle. There's a compressor right there. And this compressor pumps air into this machine. It heats it up, spits it out into these rollers right here. And the rollers compress everything together. So we heat up the tape, which gets the glue really hot. And then the rollers press everything into the suit, giving you that nice finished look. And let me see if I can find... I don't know if you guys can see this, though. In here. Oh, yeah, good idea, Matt. Here, the one under it, you can see a lot better. You can see this seam right here on this suit. This is done with that hot air machine. Really cool machine, pretty pricey, but, man, it does a great job and allows us to do cool repairs for you. So let's get that water and cup. Guys, we're almost done here unless you have more questions. I kind of hit on a lot of stuff. Connection in and out, and I apologize for that. So we're going to get some hot water here. Let me grab a cup. The Orange Julius. Who's had one of those? Those are good, huh? All right, so... we're Chris over here to hold the computer while I do this, so hold on one second. So we're putting hot water into this cup. Everybody says when you throw this into the air, it is going to turn into dust. So we're going to go outside and try it. Keep your questions coming because I'll say goodbye and we'll give out some prizes at the end. But we're going to try this real quick, so come on with me. Remember, negative 51 degrees right now, so let's see what happens. Fair enough.
All right. Well, I will.
Doesn't feel that bad. All right. I'm going to stay there, Chris. I'm going to scoot back. Stay there. All right. You guys ready? That was pretty cool. So there's your science experiment for the day. Really cold weather and really hot water turns to dust. I hope that showed up pretty cool. It looked pretty cool from my end in the video. Hope you guys like that. Nicole says she did it too. I'm going to do that when I go home with my kids. They're going to freak out. They're going to love it. Mike, it didn't have to be boiling because we did not boil anything here. We just used some hot water. So, Augie, do we have anything in the randomizer?
I do.
So here's what we're going to do. We are going to give away a Fourth Element undergarment. And Fourth Element doesn't know that. I'm going to tell Michelle here in a little bit. We're going to give a Fourth Element Arctic undergarment. And all of you people that, it looks like we got 40 comments or so. So all of you are going to have a chance to win that undergarment. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm not going to try to connect that and do that in. Let's see if we can get it on the screen here for you. Like I said, we're kind of remote, so it's not as easy when I'm at my desk. So go ahead, Augie, hit the randomize. Let's see who wins a Fourth Element Arctic undergarment. Jay, congratulations, Jay. You just won a Fourth Element undergarment. Augie's going to be in touch with you. And Michelle, thanks for correcting me. Yeah, the wind chill temp, same thing. It's still cold out there. Yes, Philip, we did come to work today. John, that was just tap water. You know, we've got one of those little water machines, and it's got the hot or cold spigot, so I just hit the hot water. So that was just regular water, kind of warmed up, hot. Boil it, whatever you want. So congratulations to Jay. You won that undergarment. Augie will reach out to you to see exactly what size you want. Guys, I'm really sorry if we lost connections, if things weren't perfect today. We kind of did things remote for you guys, so we got out of the ugly office and got to see a little bit more of the shop, show you the showroom a little bit, and talk cold water diving. Remember, we're your cold water experts here. Call us, email us, live chat us, come in the door. We'd love to help you. And I know it doesn't seem like I always have the answer when you ask me some of these questions, but it really is specific to you. So that's our job, is to figure out exactly what you need based on your diving and your profile as a diver to get the right stuff. So give us a call. We're really good at that, and we'll take care of you guys. So thanks for tuning in again. Jay, congrats on winning that. Guys, we'll see you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I believe it's with Dive Right, the manufacturer. That'll be really cool. Jared, and we might even be able to get Lamar out of hibernation to come hang out with us too. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Keep the questions coming. Remember, we do respond to questions after the fact, so keep them coming. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. Bye-bye.